In this video, we will discuss the Ashley-House analysis. Ashley-Howe considered tooth crowding to be a result of deficiency in arch width rather than in arch length. The first step is to determine the total tooth material. The mesiodistal width of all teeth mesial to the second permanent molars is measured with the help of dividers and summed up. The second step is to determine the premolar diameter, for which the arch width is measured from the tip of the buccal cusp of one first premolar to the opposite first premolar. The third step is to determine the premolar basal arch width. The canine fossa, which is found distal to the canine eminence, is measured from one side to the next side. If the canine fossa is not visible, the measurement is made from a point 8 mm below the crest of the interdental papilla distal to the canine. Coming to the inference, if the premolar basal arch width is greater than the premolar diameter, then arch expansion is possible. Ashley-House analysis does not stop here. The premolar basal arch width percentage can be calculated by the following formula: premolar basal arch width into 100 upon total tooth material. If this percentage is 37 or less, there is need for extraction. If it is 44% or more, the treatment can be done without extracting any teeth. If the percentage ranges between 37 and 44, it is considered as a borderline case.
In this video, we'll be talking about the Pons analysis. The Pons analysis deals with determination of expansion if it's possible in the premolar and the molar regions. In the first step, we determine the sum of the incisors. The mesiodistal width of the 4 maxillary incisors is measured and summed up. This is called as our sum of incisors. Next, we measure the premolar value. The width of the arch in the premolar region is determined by placing the divider on the distal pit of the first premolar to the distal pit of the first in the opposite arch. Next, we determine the measured molar value. Here, the same process is conducted with the measurement being in the mesial pit of the first molar to the mesial pit of the opposite first molar. Finally, we come to the calculated values. First, we determine the calculated premolar value. Here, the formula is sum of incisors into 100 upon 80. Now, we talk about the calculated molar value. The formula for which is sum of incisors into 100 divided by 64. Finally, we come to our inference. If the measured value is lesser than the calculated value, it indicates the need for expansion. Thus, through the Pons analysis, we can tell whether expansion is required or no. In this video, we'll be talking about Carey's lower arch analysis. This analysis helps us in determining the extent of the discrepancy between arch length and total tooth material. In the first step, a soft brass wire is taken and placed on the mesial surface of the first molar on one side and passed over the buccal cusps of the teeth anterior to it till the first molar on the opposite side, following which we conduct the second step, which is to measure the mesiodistal widths of the teeth mesial to the first molars. Once measured, we subtract the arch length from the total tooth material and we come to our inference. If the discrepancy is greater than 5 mm, extraction of the first premolars is advised. If the discrepancy is lesser than 2.5 mm, proximal stripping is needed. And if the discrepancy ranges from 2.5 mm to 5 mm, extraction of the second premolars is needed.